Hi everyone, this is Rohit, your IELTS teacher, and आज हम करने वाले हैं true false not given questions को solve. So let's see. We are going to solve first these 5 questions. So पढ़ते हैं. What is the logic? First, we are going to mark the logics. Study shows that males are more likely to be addicted than females. So हम ये words देख पा रहे हैं more than. That means there is comparison. If we look closely, they are saying males are more than females. Let's see. What is the parameter of comparison? The parameter is addiction. TV. So they're saying males are more addicted to TV. We just have to check this comparison. Let's see next. It says greater improvements in mood are experienced after watching TV than playing sports. That means there is again, if we look closely, a comparison. So let's see question number 2. What is the comparison of second question? Let's mark here so that we can understand. So question number 2 says that TV and playing sports. They're saying we have improvements in mood. So we have improvements in mood when it comes to watching TV and not playing sports. So that is what they're saying. So we have to compare that second thing. Let's see question number 3. What it is said. TV addiction works in similar ways as drugs. Oh, this is again comparison. So they're saying TV. Let's write down question number 3. We just have to judge these comparisons. TV addiction is same as the drugs. If they say they're not same, there is something different, it is going to be false. Let's say 4th. It is reported that people's satisfaction is in proportion to the time they spend watching TV. Now again they have said in proportion to. Now what is meaning of in proportion? Let's understand it here. So in 4th question they are saying that let's say people's satisfaction is directly proportional or in proportion to watching TV. That means if they watch more TV, they're going to be more satisfied. And in the same way, if they watch less TV, they're going to be less satisfied. We just have to check this proportion. If the paragraph says that people get dissatisfied after watching more TV, then proportion is going to be opposite. Now let's see. Middle class viewers are more likely to feel guilty about watching TV than the poor. Again they are talking about comparison. So all these 5 questions are based on comparisons. So let's say 5th question is also a comparison based question where they're comparing middle class viewer with poor people, and they're saying middle class people are the people who feel guilty. So the comparison ground is feel guilty. So this is a wonderful reading to help us understand comparison based true false not given questions. Now to understand them, let's quickly understand a few things. Let's say question number 1st. If we find out that indeed males are more addicted than females to TV, it is going to be true. But if you find that males and females are equal or females are more, it is going to be false. Or if they don't talk about addiction or there is no comparison, it is going to be not given in that case. So let's see where they are talking about males and females. So let's highlight quickly the paragraph location keywords that are going to help us find it. So they're talking about addiction, males and females. Let's see where they're talking about males and females and addiction. Let's read quickly. The paragraph itself is the addiction to TV. The amount of time people spend watching television is astonishing. On average, individuals in the industrialized, now they're talking about individuals, but they're not talking about males or females. In this industrialized world, devote 3 hours a day to the pursuit, fully half of their leisure time, and more than on any single activity, save work and sleep. At this rate, someone who lives 75 would spend 9 years in front of the TV. To some commentators, this devotion means simply that people enjoy watching TV and make conscious decision to watch it. But if this is the whole story, why do some people experience misgivings about how much they view? The Gallup, this two of the adult respondents and 7 teenagers said that they spend too much time in watching TV. So far now, they are now not talking about males and females. So they are not talking about any gender. So let's read further. To study people's reactions to TV, researchers have experiments in which they have monitored the brain waves using an electroencephalograph or EEG to track behavior and emotion in the normal course of life as opposed to the artificial conditions in the lab. Participants carried a beeper and we signaled them 6 to 8 times a day at random over a period of a week. Whenever they heard the beep, they wrote down what they were doing and how they were feeling using a standardized scorecard. So again, they're not talking about males and females. As one might expect, people who were watching TV when we beep them reported feeling relaxed and passive. The EEG studies similarly show less mental stimulation as measured by alpha brainwave production during viewing than during reading. What is more surprising, now they are not talking so far now about males and females. So we are going to keep this answer so far now not given. After reading 3 consecutive paragraphs, if we find no answer and it is start of the section thing, we're going to consider it not given, because they are not talking about males and females and there is no comparison given. Let's see. Greater improvements in mood are experienced after watching TV than playing sports. Now they're comparing watching TV and playing sports. Now we know whole paragraph talks about watching TV. So we are going to locate its answer where they're talking about playing sports. So let's say where they are talking about playing sports. Let's quickly find it out. As measured by alpha brainwave production during viewing than reading. What is more surprising is that sense of relaxation ends when the set is turned off, but the feeling of passivity and lowered alertness continue. Survey participants say that they have difficulty in controlling the viewing before. Let's see where they're talking about sports. Here they're talking about playing sports. So they have mentioned playing sports. Now in the question, we also have to keep our let's say memory very strong for IELTS exam. So as per what I recall, they said that watching TV gives more satisfaction than playing sports, or we get more satisfaction after watching TV. Let's see. After playing sports or engaging hobbies, people report improvements in mood. After watching, people's mood are about the same or worse than before. That means after playing sports, people's mood improves. On the other hand, if they watch TV and after watching TV, people's moods remain same or worse. So let's see. What they're saying here is, let's move on. If people play sports, let's assume if their mood was 0, let's say if the value of happiness, or if they gave 0 rating to their mood after playing sports, there were some improvements. That means after playing sports, it was at least more than 0 when it comes to satisfaction. But when people were asked what the condition was after watching TV, so when people played TV or people watched TV, they said that their mood remained either same, that means there was no improvement, the rating remained 0, or in some case it was worse also. That means sometimes they gave negative rating to their moods. That means paragraph says after sports people get more satisfaction than after watching TV. That means this is opposite information to what we were given in the question. This is false, right away false. Here they are saying that after watching TV there are greater improvements, but this is false. After playing sports there are improvements, but after watching TV there is no improvement. So this statement is false and it has contradicted. So this comparison has contradicted itself. Now TV addiction works in similar ways as drugs. So let's see where they're talking about drugs, because we know TV addiction has been mentioned everywhere. So we're going to find its answer where they're talking about drugs. Let's quickly read and let's find out where they're talking about drugs. Drugs. Here, drugs. Let's see. Viewing begets more viewing, which is the same as the experience of habit forming drugs. So here they're saying viewing. Viewing is synonym of watching TV. So they're saying here that TV, if you watch more TV, you watch more TV, you want to watch more TV, and the same happens in case of drugs also. So the same mechanism is there in watching TV and being addicted to drugs. That means this statement and this comparison has been given straight away same here. In this case, addictive addiction works in similar ways as drugs. This statement is true because they have right away said that both of them work in similar way. Now let's see. It is reported that people's satisfaction is in proportion to the time they spend in watching TV. Now let's see. This is a proportion question. Now this might be little confusing, so let me help you understand. So what is meaning of proportion? So let's say if playing sports, or if people's satisfaction is one set and TV is another set. Let's say if people's satisfaction is going to improve, their viewing hours also are going to improve. But if viewing hours are going to decrease, their satisfaction is also going to decrease. So that is the meaning of proportion. Now, how can we contradict it? We can contradict it only when by watching TV, let's say, so this is true statement. In these two cases, it is going to be true. Now, if we apply critical analysis, and we have to always think critically, if we apply critical analysis, if it is going to be false in that case when TV viewing hours and the more time we spend on TV actually decrease our satisfaction. Only in that case it is going to be true. In the true case or false. In the true cases it is going to be directly proportional. However, let's say in mathematical term, in false, to make it false, it must be inversely proportional. Both of these must have inversely proportional relationship. Let's see how it is. Let's read quickly. First, let's see where we're going to find its location. So they're talking about time spent watching TV. So let's say people satisfaction, main keyword here is the time people spent in watching TV. Let's say where they're talking about time people spent in watching TV. It is likely to be after that what we read last. Thus, the irony of TV, people watch a great deal longer than they plan to, even though prolonged viewing is less rewarding. Let's say, here they're saying, in our ESM studies, in one study, they found that the longer people sat in front of the set, the less satisfaction they said they derive from it. So here they are also talking about proportion. So they're saying that as people spent more time in watching TV, their satisfaction was less. It was the lesser. That means they got less satisfaction. The more time they spent, the less satisfaction they got. That means this relationship is inversely proportional, or let's say this is opposite relationship. Now we got our answer. In question they're saying it has directly proportional relationship, but when we read paragraph they say that relationship is opposite. That means this is a false statement. Let's see next. Middle class viewers are more likely to feel guilty about watching TV than the poor. So let's say where they're talking about poor and middle class. Let's see. Quickly let's read where they're talking about middle class and poor people. Let's read after this. Guilt. They're talking about guilt. Okay, so they're talking about here middle class viewers, and they're also talking about less affluent ones. So this is synonymous language given for the poor people. So here let me mark here separately. I'm really sorry for messed up things, but again you can also do the same thing on your papers. You've been given a pencil and a paper to write on, so make sure you make your markings, you apply your critical analysis. Do not do everything in your brain. Try to bring the whole thing on paper so that you can make sure that questions are in no way wrong, because they are completely dependent on critical analysis. They are not based on English, they are based on critical analysis that you have to run these questions through. Let's see. So what here they're saying middle class people. We're seeing again the comparison. These are middle class people, and then they're less affluent. Less affluent means poor people only. Less affluent people. So what they're saying, guilt. So they're among middle class people, guilt is more. Let's see. Let's try and match it with. Let's try and compare this. Match this comparison with what was given in the question. So they're saying here, middle class viewers are likely to feel guilt, more likely to feel guilt than watching the poor. So we have written down middle class people feel more guilt than the poor. The same statement was given in the paragraph also, so the statement is true. So that's all in today's true false not given questions. I hope you have understood how to solve the questions wherein we have to apply comparison logic. So these were comparison based questions in true false not given. Make sure you judge comparison very carefully. You take these down on your paper so that you can ensure that there is no mistake. Let's see. So let's write down synonyms of today's reading. First, males are, study shows they did not talk about males and females. We're not going to write it. Watching TV then playing sports. For watching TV, they gave us the synonym that was viewing. Let's see next. TV addiction. So they said similar, they gave synonym same. Let's see next. People satisfaction. People were more satisfied. Okay, there was nothing. Middle class. Okay, for the poor they said less affluent. I think there were some more synonyms also, but I'm able to recall them only right now. So that's all in today's small reading questions. I hope these are going to help you understand true false not given better. Thank you everyone.